Hi,
Hey,
good.
Christa, how
Long
you
time
going?
no see. Long time no see.
All right, great. I mean, I always love the blue background, so
Yes,
I don't know if
that's my
that's your
brand
theme,
color.
but
I'm trying not to cut off my head
yes,
here.
right.
Yeah, that's my brand color.
That's
So I'm committed to it. I'm committed.
nice. I mean, once you face it, you want to committed to it.
I'm
Huh?
committed to it.
All right, great. So, I mean, Krista, I mean, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about the info in, and the audiences will just want to hear about you, your journey as well. So tell us a little bit about you,
That's always
and the
a
info
weird
in.
question to talk about myself. Because to me, I'm such like a complex, complicated person. I'm not like one thing. I know people try to pigeonhole you into one thing. I am an entrepreneur, a brand consultant. I'm also an academic, but I'm also a creative. I like design. I'm into digital art as well. I'm a fixer. I'm actually a very hands-on person. So I'm always repairing, drilling something, repairing something. I like problem solving. I think that kind of helps me in my entrepreneurial journey. I like problem solving. So I'm always fixing something. I'm always looking for a solution to something. So you could all power tools, everything, I'm down. I'm a dog mommy, which is probably I should have said first because I swear that's like the greatest role in my life right now. I am a mommy to no,
Okay.
seriously, like he controls everything. He he
Yeah.
actually controls my life. He's a 3-year-old mini schnauzer slash Yorkie, and he controls my life. So I should have probably
I'll pretend to know what that
a
is.
very
But if he runs by, I mean, just give us a view, right? If he
very
happens to
cute
run
dog.
by.
No, I had to actually send him downstairs because this live would not have taken place if he was here.
Oh,
So yeah, so I'm into air crash investigation. Some people find that morbid, but I am like literally obsessed with air crash investigations. Yeah, and that's basically
I'm saving this for when my top five
yeah.
random
So
questions
yeah,
comes in.
so I'm really
I'll
into
ask you from there.
investigations and stuff. I I well, I really like education. I'm into education. I really loved my time at UE, and any opportunity for learning, I always grasp it. So I think that's a fair assessment of who I am.
Right, nice. And I mean, all that kind of just wrapped into uniquely
Yep.
you as an entrepreneur. As simple as that, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the problem solving and the willingness to learn more. But tell us a little bit about the
Well,
info
I
in.
launched the info in 5 years ago. March the 1st was the 50th anniversary. Initially, I started doing research, market research, but it was way too much to do on my own. I was getting clients for market research and stuff, but when I really sat down and thought about it, it was too much. My head was in research whole day. It was really too much. So what I decided to do, I took that research skill and pivoted a bit to focus on the more holistic brand development side of business. So what I offer now, and I think those years doing the research and the digital marketing, it kind of encompassed what I'm doing now. So I'm doing full service brand development where I offer research, but it's geared towards building your brand. So I do research, I do brand strategy, I do brand storytelling, narrative, design. So I will do logo design, your entire brand identity, and then I do implementation. So website design, if you need social media management, I do that. But I only do that for like brands that I have built.
Oh, so only
Yeah.
brands you've built, you
Yeah.
do the social media man. So even if somebody wants social media management, it might be taking a kind of rebuild
Yeah.
of
If
their
they want
brand,
to
kind of look
rebrand
at it
and
from
look
that.
at because what I find is most people look at social media management as separate. They look at everything in isolation. Social media management, social media
Mm.
marketing should actually be the expression of your brand. So you need to have a strategy behind that. And if you come to me without a strategy and you just want me to just do some graphics and post, then it really doesn't tie into what I believe in as an entrepreneur, as a brand consultant.
And then And I guess without a strategy, it's harder to even get results. Like, what are you aiming for? Are you just aiming for the number of posts, right? Like, what is the end result?
When they do that, they look for likes. They want the page to grow. But what I ask was, people come to me, they're not getting enough likes. But then I ask, well, how is sales? Sales good, but we're not getting likes. But what is more important? Sales, how you reach the customers. Because what I've noticed, most times the persons who are more likely to purchase from you or book a service, they aren't the people liking your posts. They aren't the people commenting. They are the people who watch and observe. They look at how you move. They look at how you interact. And then they come and they purchase. So the whole mindset of we just want to run social media, it's vanity, it's really chasing as opposed to strategy.
Yeah, I think, when we look at finance, we talk about return on investment, but the same thing in terms of branding and marketing. Any social campaign that you're running, what is the return on that investment? Because it's going to cost you money. I mean, if it's not costing you money and doing it yourself, it's costing you time, right? So what is that return on that investment that you're looking at from there? And I think, just to recap something that you said from before, when you started doing the market research, it was a lot of work, right? And is it fine to say that market research is the element that you learned about marketing?
Research? Well, to me, there is no marketing without market research. So that is the foundation of everything. Even with building a brand, you can't build a brand if you don't know who your customers are. Because at the end of the day, the customers are the ones who decide what that brand is. They are the ones who receive the information. They are the ones who their emotions would be stirred in a particular way. So without understanding them and what stirs them and what are their motivations and what influences them to purchase, there's nowhere to go to build a brand. So the research, and that's why I don't like to cut corners when I say I only do marketing for brands that I build. Because when I say help build brands, it's the entire process, and marketing or market research always comes first.
Yeah, and I think, even when you look at digital marketing, social media is a small part of that. And all of that comes in an entire strategy going after there. So are you sending people on their posts, but is that going to any of your product sales on your website? So everything is connected, and I think it's a bigger picture that people need to look at as well. But the reason why I asked about the market research, because sometimes you get into entrepreneurship and at the onset you start doing what you love first, right? And what you're passionate about, right? And in normal terms in entrepreneurship, you must love what you do, but don't be in love with it. And that simply means that be open to pivot and be open to change and focus not just in terms of what people want, but what they're capable of doing.
I remember when I first started, I went and spoke to my former boss at UE. And I showed her the plan, I showed her the business plan and everything. She was like, Christa, you sure you could do all that research by yourself? Because she knew what research entailed, because I would have done research for them. So when I was like, yeah, man, I could do it. But then, it was successful, but I was tired. I was burnt out. It was too much to that level and detail of research. It was just too much. So I had an option. I was like, either stick with it, but hire other people. And at that point in time, I don't think I was in a position to hire as yet. Or just pivot. And that's one main lesson of entrepreneurship. You have to know, some people, you can't be hard-headed about it. You have to know when it's time to make a change. Had I been doing market research, I probably might have quit the business if I continued. Probably because I might have been so burnt out. I wouldn't have loved what I was doing. Because I love research. Everybody who knows me knows that. But it's just a different way of applying the research now. That's what I'm doing.
And I guess you're doing it now in terms of coming up with that brand strategy. It's as in-depth as it. So I think it's pivoting your business. It may not be a total change to come up with a whole new business, but be just seeing things on a different perspective, and that same skill that you love, using it for something else. And I think that is important. Now, explain to us, what is a brand strategist? If you have to explain.
Well, a brand, in layman's terms, is someone who helps you to connect deeply with your target audience. It's somebody who lays out the roadmap that would basically help you to build a brand in their minds. So it's not just about designing a logo. It's not just about, because a lot of times when people hear, oh, I'm a brand strategist, I'm a brand consultant, the first thing they want is a logo. The first thing is more than that. A logo is like a little tiny portion of what your brand really is. So a brand strategist will really help you to understand your customers and then understand the different elements that will help them form the impression of your business that you want and lay that up for you.
Right. And I secretly kind of asked that because I think one of the challenges of entrepreneurship is helping persons to kind of understand what you do, right? Because you may have a perception of what it is or even what you're offering, but exactly what do you do? And I think that is, I guess that's part of marketing, helping people to kind of understand. It's not just about letting them know I have this, but helping them to kind of understand the value of it itself.
And I think that is important. Comes in because for the past 5 years, I've been breaking it down. So I think now people understand really well what a brand is first and foremost, what a brand consultant, what a brand strategist does, and why you really need branding in your business. So I think people are understanding it. There's a shift, and people are getting it.
Right. So you're going to kind of travel backwards. So I mean, in the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of more businesses online, more people doing social media marketing, more people fixing up their websites, right? So e-commerce coming into play, making sure you set up all those things. So what have you seen in terms of the ask people are coming with in the last 2 years? So what are they asking for? And what are some of the things that you're noticing in terms of change?
The pandemic actually, since COVID started, my business has, because everybody realized, okay, I need an online presence. I need to sell online. I need to build my personal brand. And the things that I would have wanted to take place way before, because if you all know me, I am like a homebody. I find everything should be done online. I shouldn't have to leave my house regularly to get certain things. And through that pandemic, things that I dreamt could have happened, would have happened before, took place. You could have ordered your groceries online. People would deliver it to your house. So it was like a whole revolution, a whole digital revolution. And a lot of entrepreneurs who thought it wasn't possible before understood that they needed to make that change to grapple with the pandemic. So it's not that the pandemic, I mean, it's terrible, it's a terrible global event, but it stimulated a renewed entrepreneurial desire, in my opinion. Things that people, like, I would have never think that I would have been able to order my groceries and get, and I did it. And I'm so spoiled in a way now that if you offer in a service and I have to meet you somewhere, because that was a big thing. That was a big thing in selling online in Trinidad. No credit card. We have to meet up in a mall for me to get it. Now the ease of, you need, as an entrepreneur, you have to think about how difficult are you making it for somebody to purchase from you, especially now. How difficult are you making it? People.
I think it caused a change and a shift in the mindset as well. So before people were thinking about I can do online but this is more but it caused them to now say, here's what I have to do it. Right? That's the only way my business is going to survive. Right? And it's evolution. I guess we need to see the next evolution from there. I mean, the metaverse is coming soon, so hopefully people, hopefully I don't have to buy any groceries through Facebook, right? But so I think it's all right. If you go further back, I mean, you would have started this whole info in last 5 years, right? What would have been that spark that said, the time is right for me to get started?
I think I was always going to do it, because since I was a child, I was like a little hustler in the house, right? So I always used to make money off my parents. Like I would see a problem, see a need, see that they're not doing it, and then charge them to do it. So like my father was a police officer, so how policemen back in the day, the shirt used to have to be iron crisp, right? So I used to charge him like $50 to do it. $50 back then was a lot of money. Like, and I will take my savings. I would have take savings, buy stuff that I know people in the house would want, and then when they run out of it, sell it to them. So I think I always had that in me. And then when I worked at UE for 3 years, and it was an arrangement where I could have worked from home, but then when the students needed me, I would be there. And like, my personality is just opposed to that. Yes, JL. My personality is just opposed to the whole conventional mood of working, where you have to, and you know, most jobs is in Port of Spain. I'm from South. So I have to leave my house, commute for how many hours, sit in an office, because what I do, I could do it from anywhere. Sit in an office. I was just opposed to it. So I knew in leaving UE that I needed something that worked with my personality, because I watched my mom work Port of Spain for years, and I always say that's not for me. So I think while I finished UE, I worked as a digital content creator online for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. But I always had the plan for the information in there. I don't know if I was just hesitant to actually, to make it real. When you actually launch it, it becomes real. So I always had the plan. And then it was like Carnival 2017, around Carnival time. I was like, you know what, you have your business plan, you have to just go. I think Ash Wednesday or something, I went up by legal affairs and I just launched it. I was like, just do it. Just do it. Because I was just sitting there, I was like, okay. I was applying for jobs, but I knew I didn't really want it. But when you finish school, the conventional things, your parents looking for you to get a job, to apply for a new job. Apply. And I know I didn't really want it. So I was like, you know what? Let me just launch it. Let me just launch it.
I mean, you covered some of the things there are close to me as well. I know the travel to get from point to Port of Spain, right? And pre-water taxi travel as well. Right?
That wasn't for me. Back then, when I used to go to St. Augustine, so we had a bus going. So and that bus would take 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours if it's traffic. And I'm like, the 5 hours I spent on the road, I could actually be home doing something productive. And good thing my boss understood, but when you deal with students, you have to show your face sometimes. And that's the next thing with the pandemic. I think the working and arrangements should shift. People should realize a lot of people could do their jobs at home.
Yeah. And I think, it's not just the organizations that need to adapt, even when you're going online, but the employees, the individual needs to learn how to online, because I've been working online. I know sometimes you can get distracted, right? So sometimes the TV either right there, somebody might be playing music. Yeah. So it's easy to kind of get distracted, especially if you're not living alone, right? And you have other people in the house. How does that operate, right? So I know it's all of that is self-discipline. Do you have that time management skill to schedule out everything and making sure that you're getting control, getting things done? I think a lot of that goes into it. So both the employers and the employees and even the entrepreneurs, as we come into this space, you gotta think about, how does online work look like? What does it look like? And how do I incorporate that? So even as an entrepreneur, you're now thinking, okay, my next employee might be somebody working from home. right? Do you have a work from home policy that they're going to be working with forward, right? So thinking about all of that, and I think that whole outsource model is something that was kind of missing from entrepreneurs in terms of what we do, right? Are we outsourcing? So like simple as, we talked about it for your research, right? Outsourcing as a model is something that needs to be incorporated in terms of what we do. So I think it's that to and fro in terms of, I want to be online, right? But am I prepared to be online? I think that so, we're moving along your timeline a bit again, right? We're talking about now. And we're here now looking back. So, when you first started this business, did you envision for it to be what it is right now?
I actually, when I started, I had the grandest vision of what, right? Because I find if you're dreaming and you're really putting your heart and soul into something, you need to dream big. So I did envision it. I knew that I wanted to change people's lives, and I think I'm doing that one by one. I'm doing it, and I still have bigger dreams and bigger goals for the business. I wanted to become a huge agency. I could actually see what the office will look like. So hopefully next 5 years, that will be the reality where I have my white furniture with my teal walls and my white and gold accessories.
I know this thing.
The teal
I was wondering, I
accents,
said, like,
the
well,
white
where the teal
gold
going?
accessories, and it will be a nice glass, a lot of glass around, a lot of light coming in. So I have grand ideas, but I thought when I started it, I knew that, okay, I know once I was committed, once I was determined to, and that's one thing about me. When I am committed to something, I am doing it. I'm giving it 200%. Unless I realize that it's not making sense. And at no
I mean, we talk a
at
little.
no point,
Go
at
ahead. Go
no
ahead. You finish up.
point when the last 5 years I realized it wasn't making sense, because every year I was building, and building and building.
All right, great. I mean, we talked a little bit about the positives of it, and I know the entrepreneurial journey is up and down slow, right? I mean, being mentally tough, and I know you had a live recently about that. So tell me in terms of your strategies, in terms of how do you prepare yourself when you get those slow months, when things get tough, how do you prepare yourself, or even to either live through it or learn from it?
That's a very, very good question, because that could be my reality now. Fortunately for me, since I started probably like a year in, I would have booked retainer clients, right? And I know that's like every entrepreneur's dream, to have that steady income coming in. So for the past 4 years, I had retainers in addition to my consulting work. Now, in the big entrepreneurial spirit, last year, I decided that I wasn't showing up the way I really needed to for the people, for the solopreneurs, for the entrepreneurs who I really wanted to serve. So I decided to let go of the retainers, to focus my attention on serving the people I want to serve. So, just now, I wouldn't have that steady retainer income that I was relying on. So now I had to really ask. Well, when I thought about it properly. I obviously would have saved and everything before. So I thought about it, and I am like, okay, I know I'm making the right decisions. I just have to have the proper strategy in place now to show up in the way that I should have been for the past 2 or 3 years. So I've decided, and I've already built that shell to understand, well, okay, everything is not going to be nice. It's not going to be as smooth as it was for the past 4 years with the retainers. It's going to be, I'm now telling myself that I'm feeling like an entrepreneur now. I'm really feeling, because I wasn't. At some point in time, I wasn't. I was helping them, corporate entities and other persons, helping them build their brands without really focusing on building my brand in the way that I needed to. So I know the tough times may come soon. It may come soon, but I already prepared myself for it.
And I think it's that preparation, right? I'm looking at it and trying to figure out, okay, I need to prepare myself, myself.
Really doing this right? Where things tough, I would be wishing to have that. I was like, but I think it's the right decision for me at this stage to do what I want to do, because I've pivoted into even education, into teaching for entrepreneurs who may not be able to book my services, book the entire packages. I've decided to do like digital products. So like workshops and digital products and guidelines and things they could download and work on their business and work on their brand on their own. So I think I needed that time now, and things always happen. Somehow things always work out. So if it is, I still need to go back on our retainers, although I doubt. Let's not put that out there, but yeah.
And I think, when you said that you feel like an entrepreneur now, right? It reminded me that somebody told me that it's not entrepreneurship unless you reach your blood pressure.
No, it's true. I don't think, are you really an entrepreneur if you didn't feel like quitting your business 200 million times because of stress? Are you really?
And a good big part of that is being able to see in your mind something that for the business in the future that somebody else might think is crazy. You sure about this?
I am sure.
No?
I'm crazy for doing that. But at the end of the day is what I think more people need me to do what I'm doing now and what I will be doing in the upcoming months than those 1 or 2 persons would have needed from the retainer system. And
in my essence of entrepreneurship is, right, solving problems for people that really need it.
And I think I have to go where I'm needed, really and truly. And it will build me up in a way that I needed to. Because I wouldn't lie, I was telling JL is on the life, that I got comfortable. And when you're in a place where you're so comfortable because you know things coming regardless, you're not fighting that grit, that determination. You're not going for the next target. I got comfortable. So I think I needed this to really push me to the next level that I need to be.
All right, nice. So there's a random 5 question segment that I have, right? I don't have it. I'm telling people I don't have anything written here. I just let you know. Right. So I mean, we talked about the teal itself. I mean, let us know a little bit about the teal. So why teal?
When I started my first business plan and when I started designing, I had red because I wanted to be of service to Trinidad, to people of Trinidad. And then I was like, you know what, it's not feeling right. Because that's the next thing about branding. It has to feel right. So I was like, you know what? I want a color that is luxurious. It isn't masculine or feminine. It's luxurious. And I was thinking like of Tiffany. Yes, I was thinking of Tiffany, Tiffany the brand. And I wanted something that was luxurious and lush because I wanted people to, when they met my business or saw any of my brand elements, to feel that, a sense of inspiration and aspiration that, I could achieve these things. So I was like, you know what, this nice luxe jewel tone kind of teal. This is it. And it felt right.
All right. And seeing that you're a brand strategist. Favorite brand. And why?
I would probably, that's a good question. Favorite brand. I would say Nike. And there's a long story. You don't actually know. I would say Puma. Definitely Puma. Because Puma says something different from Nike. Nike is the convert. Nike, I was a Nike person. But something about Puma, back in my athletic days, when I saw Usain Bolt in Puma, it made me feel a certain way. When Serena Williams came out, she was a Puma athlete. And it made me, back in the day, like I was a sneakers person back then. And I remember when I got my first Puma sneakers, I felt like, I really belonged in the whole athlete world. And I remember it. I remember that sneakers as I say that. So Nike, now I am not ready. And I like what Nike stands for, but I think I preferred how Puma made me feel as a young person growing up in athletics.
And you know what they say sometimes, what you say to persons is how you make them feel. And I actually thought it was Nike because earlier on in the conversation, you actually said, when I'm starting this journey, I didn't tell myself just do it. Right. So strangest or weirdest thing in your house?
What, boy? Let me see. Well, I have a little mini gym going on. So I have some weights, some benches. I think that's kind of weird for some people. What's weird in my house again, boy? I don't think we have anything so strange. But
and if not in your house, probably in your fridge. We can get a little deeper, something closer.
A little cup of mother-in-law that I was banned from using. I swear, I think people, if you all suffer from sinus issues or, asthma or anything, use mother-in-law. It will help you.
All right, so we take it to a boat, the boat crash, and then on a desert island. What is one thing that you want on the island?
Ziggy sleeps on beds. My sister is trying to blast me here. The strangest thing in my house is, yes, my dog Ziggy, who is my son, who does in fact sleep on my bed. Don't judge me. Yes, one thing I need with me in a deserted island. Good question. I would say my phone. The Once do we have
Okay.
Wi-Fi in the island? Because if it's not Wi-Fi, I'm making no sense.
One coconut tree, and a patch of sand. Don't get too creative. No Wi-Fi at this island.
One thing I really can't do without, boy. Yeah, I think before I could sit down and play some crossword and yes, this blackout made me realize that all I really needed in life was crossword. So yeah, I'll take my phone and play crossword.
That's great. You know, I always ask that question and nobody actually takes another note. I don't know why. You just want to stay there? Yeah. All right, cool. That's cool. And finally, I mean, on this island, your rubber lamp, a genie pops out and says you have he's a one-handed genie. You have 2 wishes. Right?
2 wishes.
You have 2 wishes. What then?
That I'll have the office space I was telling you about. Because that's like my number 1 goal. So 1, having that office space. And 2, which is not for me, is for Serena Williams to finally break that Grand Slam record. Finally, like please. Nice. I don't know if she's coming back, but I want that to happen.
All right, great. And I mean, you didn't even wish to come off the island. That's good. You're still there, right? So I mean, thank you, Christa, for joining us. I mean, any final words of inspiration for our next upcoming entrepreneur starting off?
I tell them, we know as entrepreneurs, we like to feel that we could do everything by ourselves and we know everything. And, you know, you have to know what you don't know. And that's one of the keys and critical things to growing. Because if you sit there thinking you know everything and thinking that you don't need help to grow, you'll stagnate yourself. So embrace learning. Any opportunity you could get to learn from someone or to learn, read a book, take a course, do anything to learn and better yourself, embrace that. Because not because you start your business at one point means that's where it needs to stay. Learn and grow.
Yeah, I remember if I remember correctly in terms of like the Joe Harry window, sometimes you know what you know what you don't know, but sometimes you just don't know what you just don't know. You're missing that blind spot. Right? So I think what you don't know. All right, great. So Christa, thanks for joining us.
Nice.
And folks on the live, thanks for joining us. All right. And like I always say, it's been real. It's been nice. It's been real nice. Folks, enjoy your Friday. Take care.